Exodus chapter 12. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be the beginning of months to you. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month every man shall take a lamb according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a household. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the persons. According to what each man shall eat, divide the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month, and then the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. They shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 side posts and on the upper doorpost of the houses in which they shall eat it. They shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted with fire, and they shall eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roasted with fire, its head with its legs and its entrails. And you shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, but that of it which remains until the morning you shall burn with fire. In this way you shall eat it, with your waist girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. So you shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. The blood shall be to you for a sign on the houses where you are. And when I see the blood I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. This day shall be a memorial to you, and you shall keep it as a feast to the Lord. Throughout your generations you shall keep it a feast by an eternal ordinance. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. On the first day you shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that person shall be cut off from Israel. On the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and on the 7th day there shall be a holy convocation for you. No manner of work shall be done on them, but that which every man must eat, that only may be prepared for you. You shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for on this very day I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore you shall observe this day throughout your generations as an ordinance forever. In the 1st month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whoever eats that which is leavened, that person shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. You shall eat nothing leavened. In all your dwellings you shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Draw out and take for yourselves a lamb, according to your families, and kill the Passover lamb. You shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and apply the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out from the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to kill the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not permit the destroyer to come to your houses to kill you. And you shall observe this thing as an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. When you enter the land which the Lord will give you, according as he has promised, that you shall observe this service. And when your children shall say to you, What does this service mean to you? That you shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our households. And the people bowed down and worshipped. Then the children of Israel went and did so, just as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So they did. At midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt. For there was not a house where there was not someone dead. Then he called for Moses and Aaron at night and said, Rise up and get out from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as you have said. Also take your flocks and your herds as you have said, and begone, and bless me also. The Egyptians urged the people so that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We all will be dead. So the people took their dough before it was leavened, with their kneading troughs being bound up in the clothes on their shoulders. Now the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they requested of the Egyptians articles of silver and articles of gold and clothing. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they gave them what they requested. Thus they plundered the Egyptians. Then the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides children. A mixed multitude also went up with them, along with flocks and herds, a large amount of livestock. They baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were driven out of Egypt, and could not linger, nor had they prepared for themselves any food. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who lived in Egypt was 430 years. And at the end of the 430 years, on the very day, all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be observed to the Lord for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is that night for the Lord to be observed by all the children of Israel in their generations. So the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreigner may eat of it. But every man's servant bought with money, when you have circumcised him, may eat it. A foreigner or a hired servant shall not eat it. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry any of the flesh outside the house, nor shall you break a bone of it. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. Now when a stranger sojourns with you and keeps the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land. However, no uncircumcised person shall eat of it. The same law shall apply to him that is a native, and to the stranger who sojourns among you. So all the children of Israel did it. They did just as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron. And that same day the Lord brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their hosts.